It's time for the Group B winners game here at the GG.Bet Chicago Invitational.
There
I
you
nearly
go.
said that. I knew it was going to
Nearly had
happen,
it.
and I've saved it. So it's all good. But it is the Chicago Invitational here, and it is the Group B winners game. It's going to be HellRaisers taking on, obviously, forZe. So I don't know how this one's going. Honestly, I think forZe, from what they just showed us, could actually probably topple HellRaisers.
Yeah, and I mean, they already did it in the Cologne Invitational, right? So they did what they could to make it to a strong placing there, obviously getting knocked out by Liquid. And then we had a bit of a rise in form from HellRaisers at Pro League. Again, finally starting to play Overpass. That did them a lot of good. You could see results there where they were able to take down Liquid, albeit on Inferno. But again, playing Liquid to 16-14 on Overpass as well. So boost, I guess, in performance from HellRaisers. Same can be said for, I guess, well, not necessarily boost from forZe, but they've just maintained that solid form coming into this.
Yeah, I think forZe have impressed a lot of people, and I think they're just showing it's not a one-off. I think they made it look rather easy against Wendigo. I think at certain points, though, Wendigo definitely came back into it and forced a little bit of weakness, but when they got the guns in their hands, that's when they just dominated the fights. It
really was, and Wendigo, having to get to double ops on the CT side in order to really string rounds back at them, but forZe's victory never really felt in danger as we see the veto come in. Vertigo is going to be taken out by forZe. Nuke is the response from HellRaisers. That's the map they played in the Cologne Invitational. So HellRaisers learned their lesson. Mirage being the pick of forZe, that makes sense. I mean, they've just been seemingly very, very strong on it. And finally, we're going to see HellRaisers opt in for Overpass. So this already is looking like a bit of a 3-mapper here as Train goes out from forZe. And I would expect, Inferno actually to be the last deciding map. So I think we can say bye-bye to Dust 2, because I don't see why HellRaisers want to necessarily play that versus forZe.
I think Inferno will be a good map for both teams as well. So there we go.
It's kind of funny. They have similar stories. I mean, HellRaisers, they won 16-14 versus Liquid on that very map. forZe had the opportunity to beat Liquid on that map. Obviously, we had the crazy ending to their best of 3 in the Cologne Invitational. And, I mean, overall, it's kind of funny because both teams have played Liquid so recently. They've both done really well versus Liquid on these very maps that I think we're going to see a very close matchup. I think this is going to go 3 maps, actually, with what we have in front of us.
Yeah, I think it's hard to see this not going 3 maps. I think, obviously, we expect them to win their map picks. I think forZe will win Mirage. They look very solid on it. Although HellRaisers have looked extremely solid on Overpass. So that's definitely going to be very scary for forZe.
Absolutely. So I think going into Overpass, that might be the most dominant showing we will see out of one team in this matchup. Would be very surprised if forZe were able to tackle them there. So I think if we're looking at a 2-0, it's going to have to be on HellRaisers' end. They're going to have to basically have a strong look on Mirage. They're going to have to figure out how to deal with forZe, especially their CT side that looks just so strong. Outside of that, I think it's very likely that we end up on Inferno. When we get there, I don't really know what to expect. Again, we saw this super impressive performance from HellRaisers to beat Liquid there. But again, it's not like forZe were blown out of the server by Liquid either.
No, I certainly think forZe can put up a really solid fight here and might even be able to take it if obviously we go to the 3rd map. I don't think they'll be able to obviously like 2-0 it. Like you said, Overpass is going to be too much of a challenge, I'm expecting. So Inferno is definitely the one they'll have to get it done on. And I think they're a very solid Inferno team. Like we've seen them play against better opponents, even the best team in the world, Liquid. They played them so close to that one. So yeah, this is going to be a close series, I think, between these 2 teams. And it's basically the winner's match we wanted. I think it's a good rematch to have, good grudge match, and very similar map pools, so we're going to get a close game.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun to see. Again, I think in the first matchup we had, obviously it was the best one. It was on a different map between HellRaisers and forZe for the Cologne Invitational, but we saw Z-Power by far besting Oscar. Then, to be fair, he bested any opera he went up against, and then he bested Kenny S, he bested Oscar throughout that tournament run. Whether or not that's going to remain the same thing, we saw Oscar versus Nordavin. He was basically doing whatever he wanted. Didn't really run into too much of an opposition there. If he's feeling himself, that could be the game changer, right? That could be what propels HellRaisers past forZe and have them basically avoid any sort of, basically rough runs where they have to go into a potential 3rd map.
Exactly. I think Oscar is definitely going to be the big factor. If he can show up a Mirage, on a nuclear level, which we have seen recently,
Absolutely.
Straight away from EPL, straight into this tournament, he's playing so well across both. If he can sort of have that effect on Mirage as well, that's certainly a map that can go their way because he's just such an individual player that can turn games around on his own.
Yeah, and he really is, and it's going to be fun to watch. But I think Yeah, for now, it's reasonable of us to expect each team to pick up their own map pick. I don't think there's really too much that HellRaisers could have taken out from the first map we saw between Wendigo and forZe on Mirage. I mean, sure, you might get a basic idea of how the forZe likes to play their T side, but most of their work were done on the CT sides, where it's like you can assume what kind of setups you're going up against, but it was a lot of solid individual play more so than anything else on the side of forZe. So you can't necessarily game plan too much for that if you're HellRaisers.
Yeah, so I think it's more so that HellRaisers are going to have a strong T side showing themselves. You know, we can start to see weaknesses for forZe on their T side. You know, they started to get spread thin. At the end, the thing that won them it was just sort of B-rush twice, and then they went on the back of pistols. They definitely did not look as convincing on the T side as they did on the CT side. So if HellRaisers can somehow find a way to have a strong T side themselves in Mirage, that's possibly when they can take Mirage.
Yeah, it still remains to be seen, though. But yeah, overall, good map play. I don't think we could have asked for, I guess, a tighter selection of maps between the two teams. I think this is all maps where they match up pretty decently. Outside of Overpass, I guess that's still the question mark in the series for me, how good forZe can be on it. Yeah. They haven't showcased it a whole lot. And again, compared to what we've seen out of HellRaisers, they've pretty much taken on the best teams in the world and won most of the time. It's a pretty tall order to expect forZe to be able to have mastered that as well, because they've been looking pretty solid on most of the maps we've seen them on. I mean, over the course of these 2 weeks, we've seen them play Inferno to a high level, Mirage to a high level, Dust to Nuke. There's not really anything they have failed, I guess, to do for us. Yeah,
a pretty wide map pool.
Yeah, it's fun to see though.
The interesting part for me for forZe is that pretty much every individual is playing well.
Cheeky knife face from Jerry.
That was the player I was literally about to talk about as well, just having so much impact today. He's showing his skills on the knives as well, so that's good to see. Hopefully he can continue that when it comes to fragging abilities inside the game, because he's definitely done that so far today. And a player we picked up in the Cologne Invitational, he's come into this one, and he's lights out, which is really, really nice to see, especially since he's in-game leading. Yeah,
it's very impressive to have that kind of fragging output as he had in the first match. That's, I guess, a little bit more than what we would expect out of him on an average level, because you don't get 27 frags every single day. But no, that was more towards the normality what we were expecting, because we've seen it happen multiple times, and we were kind of left wanting after the first Invitational. So cool to see that happen, especially because Almazar didn't really have too much of impact that game. He didn't really get activated enough. He didn't really see too many enemies. It seemed like whatever came into the crosshairs of either Z-Power or Jerry just was enough. They didn't really need a whole lot more. FaceCrack also having a pretty good showing for himself. So I think that's more down to the fact that he just wasn't too much involved, not at his own fault or anything. That's just kind of how the game folded out. So there's still more strings to play off of for forZe, which is the fun part about it, because oftentimes when you see newer teams, it's going to be a lot focused on 1 to 2 players that are going to carry them potentially through to a victory or an upset, and eventually you kind of forget about the team. It becomes all about the individuals. They get poached to a different team, and you kind of forget about everything else that happened back there. But forZe, it seems like they just have a strong collective. Yeah, forZe definitely, we kind of talk about how much we can see a different player at the top of the scoreboard pretty much every time for them. So it's definitely something a lot of teams don't possess. And we kind of touched on the fragging abilities of their in-game leader. It's quite interesting as well, because Angel is an in-game leader a lot of people talk about being a in-game leader can also frag. Yeah, I will say over the last couple of years, I feel like that's been watered out pretty significantly. People still talk about him as being the potential saving angel, pardon the pun, for a team like Na'Vi. I never saw that, and I mean, yeah, as much of his upside as he has in his occasional fragging ability, he does leave me wanting from a tactical aspect. Oftentimes.
This is just a massacre from Jerry and Z-Par, though. They do get 2 kills. It's actually 1 as well coming in for FaceCrack. So an early start coming in from HellRaisers has fallen short. So forZe going to retake the B bomb site as Oscar's got there with the Angel. Bomb planted. Now got a kit, 2 flashes and a smoke available. So forZe can definitely take their time, make sure they put every foot in the right direction. Oscar is off towards short. He has got the Glock as he looks back to dive in. That's going to be a kill from Flick coming in towards the kitchen. Oscar has to do it all, and he's a player that can definitely do so. As another one comes in from Oscar, looks back, but Almiz will get rid of him, and that will be the pistol pickup for forZe. Definitely the start they'd be looking for here on their map pick. So HellRaisers, they can't quite get the pistol, but they get the bomb plant. Now this is the decision. Do they go for the full eco or just buy pistols, or do they go for the investment into the next? And the odds are super close, actually favoring forZe here.
Wow. I guess pistol round might have a bit of something to do with that, but honestly, I think it's fair enough. It's their map pick. They looked so strong on it, and to be fair, you know, last head-to-head matchup, they got the better of HellRaisers. So we'll see though. HellRaisers, they've gone for it in a big way as well. Not a half investment, no half measures. It's going to be an AK on Oscar with head armor as well. You can see pistols, light Kevlar bought up as well. They haven't completely depleted themselves outside of Oscar, but he's also the one looking for an off. So we'll see how this plays out. Oscar not known for being the one to dome people with a rifle, oh, well, an AK, or the AWP, but gonna get his time to shine. Z Power and Jerry again combining well on that A-bomb site. Winning 2 for 1.
Well, Jerry
not gonna go down yet.
Again, with the M4 events, he just shuts down people time and time again, and there we go, another cleanup from forZe.
So Jerry started off the game, well, the last game on Mirage with the 2 first weapon rounds with an M4, netting him 6 kills in total. Starting off with 3 here now. Might be able to replicate it. And okay, so these are the kind of buys that always confuse me for HellRaisers. They've opted to buy in here. Obviously, they had the hero AK on Oscar in the last one. They're going to get 4 AKs, which is, again, a lot of firepower. And this might not be something that forZe are expecting, but they do lack utility. I mean, they're going to be able to potentially take mid-control here with not expending too much of it, but might run low pretty quickly. Could be an issue for us. We've seen them being able to play after plants as well on their CT side. They've just been strong overall, really, when defending.
HellRaisers definitely have made some questionable economic decisions in the past, even in the last Cologne Invitational, so we'll see if it pays off here. There's going to be some damage done up towards window. Z-Power dropped to 22, but the first kill coming in is off the back of Flit onto Issa, so man advantage is there for forZe. Angel looking to try and pull that back. He slithered through jungle. The player has just gone through murder hole. The smoke is preventing him from knowing that there is no one in jungle. Oh my god, face crack.
Oh god, they've just missed each other. Angel's continuing forward as well.
That's so unfortunate.
Yeah,
Angel,
that is just straight up timing.
Yeah, that is just, we've seen that happen a couple of times today. Just passing by, not realizing each other there. And there will be forZe with that kill coming through, but Oscar with the deagle gets it right onto Z-Power. But Jerry again shutting them down inside the A-bomb site, and there will be 3-0 here for forZe. With HellRaisers with so much investment, only netting 2 kills, that's not a whole lot.
Yeah, that's not what you wanted. You didn't get a bomb plat either, so it's not going to be any sort of boost to your economy in that way. forZe dealing well with it. Obviously, very few margins going the way of forZe right there. The entire battle between Angel and Facecrack is more of a 50-50 for the longest of times, just depending on who turns quickly, or turns first. forZe gets the better of that one. Again, half investment on HellRaisers. Oscar runs into his death. And mid. There's kind of a half buy on HellRaisers' end. It's not going to affect their following buy too much. They're going to have a 4-round loss bonus. They have enough money to get an op on Oscar, so this is a bit of a throwaway around. forZe should be looking to get to Fort. HellRaisers just really hoping to keep their economy honest, try to get some damage done, see if they can drop a couple of weapons. If they can find Z-Power, put them in a position where they're not able to retrieve the op, it's wonderful. But that's about as hopeful as you can dare to be if you're HellRaisers.
And this is the start forZe would want, and also the start that they need. If unfortunately, if HellRaisers had a good start on their T side, built up a nice response in themselves, that's perhaps where forZe will struggle in the second half. But they've got off to an excellent one here on the CT side. And most likely, will be up to 4. If Delmies can shut them down inside of the B-bomb side, he'll only get 1, but Flip will assist from short and a decent job, but only the 1 kill. Issa gets rid of him, and the bomb plant coming in from HellRaisers, that's going to give them so much extra cash to work with. And so they can just hold on, see what they can find.
Jerry swings in with his M4 again, looking lethal with that, but he's just going to get the response. So overall, fantastic round for HellRaisers. They get 3 kills. Bomb plant, that's all you want, really. I think the only added bonus, I mean, outside of winning a round, would have been to get Z-Power down and get that op out of his hands, but you'll take that. And as you can see, plenty of cash on their end, too. Oscar sitting at 7.1, so he's going to have no problem buying out an op if that's what he wants to. 2 Kriegs, Issa, Lowell. Similar suspects as we saw using it on Overpass as well. versus Nordavind in the first matchup. Issa definitely seeming to practice some with that weapon as well. He had some pretty crisp shots. We were talking a lot about Oscar in the matchup versus Nordavind, but Issa definitely didn't have a bad showing either.
Definitely on the CT side, had a lot of shutdowns as well.
Yeah, with actually a stolen Krieg.
Yeah, that was true, yeah. Just picked it up, made it look easy, but Z-Power this time throwing a little bit of aggression in a bit of a different angle he's played from. Not towards short, but Oscar holding across Z-Power. Oh, the bit. It works perfectly. Issa takes the shot, misses, and Z-Power goes back in for the pick. So, man advantage available to forZe. Can hang on to it, though.
Now that, seeing if Oscar can equalize, or if anyone else on his side is going to be able to help out. Nades go in towards CPL. I'm not going to find anything, not doing any damage. Z-Power checking just if there's a little bit of a gap in the smoke. Not to be the case. Angel sets up for a pop flash. And away we go.
Well, kill comes in from Flit. That's Angel gone. It will be a 2-man advantage for forZe, but Law will try his best to try and pull it back. Yeah, it's got 1 kill. A little bit more than that would be perfect, but okay, notice the player in below the woods, spamming away. The smoke is causing problems, and forZe just got to keep him there. Will come in with another kill. It's back into an equilibrium. 3 players for each side, but Jerry, this is the position we've seen him have so much impact from, but Oscar this time will make sure he has none. As the kill comes through, Almizo will get rid of Law. And again, it's back into a 2v2. This time, though, the bomb has been planted for HellRaisers, and Oscar is still alive. Z-Power coming from T-spawn.
It's the double op retake as well.
Yeah. This is going to be so difficult, and especially since Nuka, he's suspecting this.
Doesn't get the drop on him, though, even though he had the right idea. Question is, how do you deal with this? Time is starting to tick down. Well,
that's how you deal with it.
Exactly. Flying Lithuanian. Going to be able to win out the duel there in the end, and that nets HellRaisers their first round. Not completely without issues, but in the end, a round win is what matters. They're still going to have money to buy up as well. So things looking good on the HellRaisers side. Meanwhile, for forZe, taking enough damage on their end to, well, not look that great economically speaking. I've still opted in, actually, with a little bit of weaponry here. Z-Power has been handed the op, face check on an AUG. Jerry down to an MP9, so no more of that M4 silencer. And old Mauser being the donator. He's going to be stuck on a deagle for now, unless there's the weapon picked up on the ground. But it's not the ideal weapon, or not the ideal buy to try to get back into it right off the bat. HellRaisers in a pretty prime position to potentially close the gap. Was no weapon on the ground, so Almauser just having to deal with the deagle. 4-man stack as well on that A-bomb site. So giving up mid-control completely. We saw that happen a couple of times in their first matchup. And they definitely have a set idea as to how they want to play it out, whether they... we also saw them actually just completely compile everyone towards mid as well. So they have different setups on their CT side, and they've definitely thought about the ABCs for what they're meant to do.
Especially going up against lots of different buys. If they know they're here on a weaker buy, then they really have left mid open. But it's going to be Angel with a kill onto Fistcrack, and it won't be into the 4v4. Almizo, again, the player with only a deagle is just hiding, biding his time. Hope they walk past him. Molotov goes in towards Palace. Bomb getting planted. Almizo, this is the time to strike. Comes into the bomb site. There's the kill on the Angel. One of them could actually realistically start sticking this bomb. As forZe finding the kills, it's all on Oscar and Issa to try and make it happen, and forZe comes back through. It's Flit with another. It's all on Issa. Mac 10 versus the rest, and it's not going to happen. forZe, they easily clean that one up.
Easy really is the keyword as well. HellRaisers going into that round, not getting any sort of map control, not clearing out the edges of the map, anything to that effect, so run into a 4-man stack where it's not just pistols. They're not going up against USPs. They've gone up against a force-buying force team. They get punished hard for it. So whatever swell of income they had, that's gone. Whatever run they were hoping to go for, it's been lost. Now, going back at it again, it's still a healthy buy from HellRaisers by all means, but really would have liked to have a bit of an easier go at it. And that's going to start you off pretty well, Z-Power. Trying to swing into connector early on, but gets caught out by Angel.
Well, Jerry just looking over the top of the connector smoke. Has actually landed that shot.
Yeah.
It's not a whole lot of damage. Oscar will stay alive. He comes back in towards middle. And this time he'll take a little bit more damage. But Angel, what a headshot. Fist crack completely finished off, and Flit eventually will drop Oscar, who just did not have a great time in this round, I have to say.
Angel.
Finish off Angel as well.
A-bomb since being left completely open. Nuki has made his way down from apps. He's been spotted though. Jerry's relayed that information that somebody could be in spawn. Bomb will get planted as well. They might be a quick flank here on the side of Flit. Well, I'll say quick, but he's taking his time. Still, though, pretty decent after plant positions from HellRaisers right now to cover off whatever might be thrown at them from the side of force. There is plenty of utility, though, on the Russian side.
Well, LoL has just picked up Flit with the SG, so it's into the man advantage for HellRaisers, and the chances of forZe are slowly but surely slipping away from them, so...
Just going to hang on to the ops.
Yeah, 2 of them as well, so not bad.
Well, Muzzer has been running around with that op for quite some time, but we haven't really seen too much action towards the B-bomb side, so he hasn't been able to put it to action too much. You managed to carry one over for Z Power as well. It's not half bad for force, and HellRaisers at a much needed period in time for them in this match. They do bring a second round on the board. These kind of back and forth swings can really have quite the avalanche effect for either side. So you see the scoreboard, and yeah, no, I mean, we've mentioned it before it started. It seems to be the common trend for force. It could be a different guy topping the scoreboard seemingly at any given time. This time it's Flit at 11. Tempo has been changed up here by HellRaisers.
Just good old rush B. Utility coming on in. There will be the kill from Almeza though. That's the first pick.
Oh, legs is as well.
That's an important factor coming in. A lot of damage being done, and the kills just keep coming through. Not a successful rush, I have to say, here from HellRaisers. I like the idea.
Oh, Lowell?
But Lowell's just standing a Molotov.
Yeah, just ran into that one, taking a significant amount of damage. Angels want to join him, but oh, Flit with a 4K. It does just seem like it's not necessarily that force has everybody contributing an equal amount in every game. It's just different people going off for 25 plus, it seems like.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, it's a way to do it.
I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. if it works, then fair enough. But it's not something we're entirely used to. It's not an orthodox style of play.
Exactly. When you look at a Liquid, it's like, oh man, that guy's 25 frags, and then you see the rest of the team sitting at between 22 to 18.
Yeah.
It's like pretty even spread.
Although Liquid do have that sort of thing as well, where anybody can step up.
Oh, absolutely. They just seem to do it all at the same time.
Yeah, all at the same time. And that's really what makes them the best, right?
Yeah, I mean, you stood pretty much the most strings to play off of as it is right now. Z Power going for a lucky shot through the smoke, not going to connect. Secondary op coming into middle. Angels made it past the angle of Almazar, but Izza definitely hasn't. We're not going to find the return either, so no trade-in for HellRaisers. Man down.
Yeah, and forwards have had a pretty good win rate off of finding that opening kill, so there's another one. Things are looking excellent here for the Russian side. Oscar will get one onto Z-Power, but Jerry's there with the reply, and it's all onto Oscar. 1v4. He can certainly make this happen, but it's going to be difficult, and he's just not looking like he's on the same level that he was on Overpass. He's missing a couple of shots, you know, you wouldn't expect Oscar to miss. And there goes another one. So 7-2 here. forZe, you know, purchasing up the weapon area, looking strong, and HellRaisers again looking a little bit flat here on Mirage. And the fact that Oscar's not really at the same level as he was earlier, that's kind of a scary sign, because we kind of talked about that's what's needed if HellRaisers are going to take Mirage.
Yeah, that really was the big win condition for HellRaisers, and they haven't found it just yet, but keep in mind, we did see forZe having a pretty extreme CT side in the first one as well. But yeah, Wendigo were able to bring it back a little bit more once they got on that CT side, winning pistol, getting an op, well, double ops, I should say, on Ships and Poison, and it started to become more of a game. We'll see if HellRaisers are banking on something similar. And I mean, keep in mind, forZe ended up closing it out in any case. I mean, that's why they're here. So might not be a good idea to let forZe get too far ahead. And half investment comes in from HellRaisers. Again, they are working with a pretty significant loss bonus here. They haven't been reset every single time, so should be able to buy up just perfectly fine in the following round.
Yeah, well, just the pistols available for HellRaisers. He's definitely seen them win off the back of these, so again, there has to be some respect given to it by forZe, but Jerry's going to get the info before falling in behind the smoke as it shrouds him. And they're going to be boosting a couple of players up in towards the window here, HellRaisers. Jerry's close by, he's expecting it.
Yep. Saw it
looks
coming.
Away.
Well, see if he clears the corner again if he moves forward. But he definitely has an inkling that something might be awry. Angel, although not going to make any sort of moves just yet. Jerry goes back for a second look, and there we go. Finds the first kill of the round. Z-Power, whoa. Uncharacteristic miss to start us off. And actually, yeah, Jerry gets a little bit too eager, dives to Nikia. Gives HellRaisers an in for this round. Still 2 ops in play. Z-Power missing, yeah. Normally sitters. Oscar's going to go to work with that Krieg. He does a lot of damage to Almazra as well. This could very easily swing back. This would be quite the round to lose for forZe. Should have been one of the easier ones. And oof, all right, no mistakes really from Almazra there. Just a great shot from Issa.
How does he even hit that? That is just crazy. But Flit, the man that's topped the scoreboard, time to get even more done. And unfortunately pulls his secondary weapon. And I'll get finished off by Nukia. The timing just not really working for him now.
It really didn't. Damn.
Another pause coming in.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm forZe, I want to talk things over as to what happened there. I think Jerry gets a little bit too eager to try to jump at the bits of getting some easy kills and swing that round and basically seal the deal for forZe. He gets picked off, face crack, somehow not able to find a single kill off of Oscar's headshot. And Z-Power just missing 2 to 3 easy op shots that he's been hitting all day long. So I guess it's not just Oscar that's having a bit of a rough start at it. Z-Power missing some sitters, costing forZe here. So what should have been 8-2 and smooth sailing for forZe kind of dropped the ball here. And this might be what turns things around. Full buy from HellRaisers, and a pretty cheap one at that too. Held on to 2 weapons, one of them being the op onto Oscar. It's going to save you a lot of cash.
Yeah, and the fact if HellRaisers find themselves, you know, best case scenario 8 here, and they end up winning the T-side half, then we did say that, you know, if they have a good T-side, that's when forZe can maybe sort of struggle in the second half a little bit more. So
yeah, I mean, it is off the back of Oscar kind of starting to get into it as well, right?
Yeah.
Deagle opening, getting another op frag. Power again missing a golden opportunity. This time Jerry's going to be on the ball though.
Yeah, Mr. Consistent. Jerry getting that kill again with the M4A1S. Molotov goes in to clear Z-Power away. He's forced into the open. Angel will find it. Oscar coming in as well alongside Law. Only fist crack and Foot left into a 2v2. The nade comes through. It'll drop Law before the bomb's planted. And that is all on Angel. 1v2 clutch. And he makes it happen. 2 kills collected very quick indeed. And it is 7-4. HellRaisers on their merry way back into this.
It's messy. It's not pretty, but it gets the job done. HellRaisers with a 4th, and we see the updated odds from GG.Bet. forZe is still favored, being in the lead, 1.35, and HellRaisers at 3.02. Slowly bringing their way back into this. I think forZe definitely could have, well, tempered themselves a little bit there once they get into the 1v2. They knew they had the bomb dropped over by default boxes, so even if they do go for the double peek, which is still technically the correct move, there was no real reason for them to push the issue there onto Angel. Nicely done by Angel. And here we go. Eco round from forZe. Angel falls eventually to Z-Power, and he's going to find a second one as well. Issa, well, speaking of tempering yourself a bit, a little bit unnecessary death, and actually Oscar's going to go down too. That's bomb. That's an op as well. This could lead to something. Oh, doesn't expect Lowell to be on the lower end of the ramp there. The HellRaisers salvage it, but it's expensive.
So 2 rounds separate HellRaisers and forZe at this point. It's the AUGs being collected for Almazra and Facecrack. And AWP for Z-Power Gang Glass Cannon. Over on HellRaisers, this is when they want to make sure that they put the piece together. This is their best opportunity to get a real solid T-side affair going. If they send forZe back to the low bar yet again, this is when they really start to feel comfortable on the T-side. And Oscar, there's an opportunity, but not quite quick enough to react. So we'll follow way back into the apartments. He's got the info. And Almirza also spots the player up there. So info is traded between both teams.
Let's see how they utilize that information. forZe, though, with 1 minute and 10 remaining, just left with 2 flashes and a smoke. Doesn't bode well to potentially stop a push, or not even just that, setting up for a retake.
Well, FaceCrack dropping Angel, pretty solid start. And it will be a man advantage for forZe. Again, they're quite good at finding that opening pick, but can they hold on to it this time? No, it's close and personal with FaceCrack. The kill comes in, and it's into a 4v4 with 40 seconds left. HellRaisers looking for a way back into this, but it's just been dropped to 10 HP. Flit inside the ladder room. This could be the kill right onto Oscar. There it is, sending the AWP in first. Not exactly the easiest angle to check as well. They still hit the deck. Another one coming in from Flit, and it's a great hold. Completely denies access towards short.
Flit is sitting on 22 frags right now.
Yeah, he's just having an insane game already.
Yeah. Yesterday we had Flame F being the top fragger in 1/2. Nearly replicated that, actually. But yeah, he did it 2 times, had really strong performances on Mirage. This time it's Flit with 22, and I mean, we're not even that close to the halftime mark. Time's going to run out. Mickey hold on to his AK, but meager consolation prize compared to getting a potential round victory. But forZe, at least with that round, secure themselves a winning half. And it was looking a little bit sketchy there with a 3-round run from HellRaisers. But they answered back in a solid fashion, as you see the scoreboard, 22-6 for Flit. Jerry has not been playing poorly by any means, sitting at 11-6, but just being taken out of the spotlight by his teammate.
Well,
it's not going to amount to anything over towards A pit.
Yeah, doesn't really reach anyone. That does, though, for 1 armor damage and 1 health damage.
That's going to be the game changer.
That is it. You know,
pretty much
Nukia could have survived to 1 HP. You know.
Done and dusted. We saw a lot of rounds where ships in the previous Mirage game were with Wendigo survived with 1 HP.
Yeah, so it's true, yeah.
It's because he survived those nades.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. We'll see, though. It's a very slow approach from HellRaisers. They don't have the best weaponry nor the best utility. That's actually their last smoke gone. So I don't know how they plan to make it onto a bomb site here. Molotov damages significant damage. Well, significant hurt onto Lowell. Jerry's seemingly ready for this as well. Oh, flash catches him in the face. Still recovers well. And this time Z-Power's not missing the easiest of shots, but Oscar with the AK here. Getting stuff done.
Well, just over 40 seconds left. What is HellRaisers' plan? What they have got themselves.
Oh, picked up a new smoke. That's fits well.
Yeah, well, the bomb's going to get planted because of it. Information is severed, and Oscar's picked up Z-Power. So all in Almirza. 1v2. AWP coming in from a connector. If he just walks through the smoke, this might catch them off guard. He's already right through, and luckily for HellRaisers, no one is really peeking, so Almirza's got to get close. And this AWP, there's the kill close. 1 more player to find, and it's Issa on the triple stack. Well played. Peeks out to the left, takes the kill, and it's 8-6. HellRaisers definitely could end up getting an 8-7 here. And again, that's as close as it can get.
Yeah, I mean, they've definitely salvaged this half. forZe just making a lot of blunders here to make this a contest even. They get 3 kills as they'd like on the initial defense, and then get just too far forward. Wasted away. And I'm also very curious, Almirza, after finding the pick onto Oscar, why does he have any sort of inkling that the last player might be towards pit? Because Oscar's widening out into that angle, looking for people in pit. I have no real idea what went through his head. HellRaisers getting another 6th. So, I mean, they're not complaining.
The scary thing is for forZe, right? If they're making this many mistakes on the side that they've played the best all day previously, like, this could really spell bad news for the second half. And HellRaisers is starting to warm up, it feels. So,
Oscar especially, right? Like, even if it's not with the AWP, he's getting impactful frags.
Oh, well, there's another kill. It's Oscar you speak of. It will be the trade. And it will be into the 4v4. Oscar with another one. This is so scary. HellRaisers is starting to really get the gears going, and Almirza has to step up with a sight, but it's not going to happen. Nukia and Lol, they get kills between them. It's all on FaceCrack. A 1v4. it ain't going to happen.
I think he decides to change up his position as well, but just making sure that they have everything covered. If you can plant for Oscar, you plant for Oscar.
Yeah, exactly.
Face crack with a FAMAS and a Dream. Makes his way forward, and, well, this is already covered off. The HellRaisers pretty much have everything set for success.
That's the most horrible way to die ever. You're just standing there, you get slowed, stopped by a Molotov, and then spammed by 2 people.
Now, Oscar ending up the half with 15 frags. That was a consistent surge towards the end of it. It really was the difference maker.
Yeah, we kind of talked about him having to be the player that shows up in a big way. And at the start, you know, he wasn't really there. He was missing a lot of shots he usually hits. But then suddenly he just turns on the next gear and he's gone up a gear and he's ready to play. And
yeah, and it's not with the AWP necessarily that it starts it off. It's been with AKs and Deagles.
It's pistols.
Yeah, you take it in any way, shape, or form you can get it from Oscar, though. You're happy with it. I mean, if he's playing well with an AK or an Eagle, he's probably going to play well with an AWP eventually as well, as you see the updated odds here from GG.Bet.
Still favoring forZe.
Still favoring forZe, yeah. Much more so than I expected. To be fair, had a good T-side versus Liquid. See if they can replicate it. They did look a little bit shaky versus Wendigo.
Oh, coming into what a shot. That is absolutely beautiful from Flit.
Seems to be a force special.
Yeah, it's just like Ferrari peaks. They brought it to the next level. It's like Mercedes at this level. It will be Angel with the USP. He'll look back in towards CT, and this could be the pick that he needs to get HellRaisers back into this, but has not landed the headshot just yet. He will reap the rewards, and standing on the bin will be Fierce Crack. Guess he gets rid of him. Flit still standing. That's another kill. Looks back over towards stairs. This is so back and forth. It's a 2v2. No kit alive on HellRaisers. They've got to move quick. And Zepar's just hiding, biding his time, using the crossfire in Tetris with his teammate Almirza. And there's the kill. Zepar and Almirza, they make it happen. And forZe will find the pistol.
Man, force make rounds feel pretty chaotic, almost regardless of what they do.
Yeah, exactly.
It's it seems to be a bit of a specialty, but it's being effective, at least for the time being. Pistol rounds picked up as well, so that's 2 for 2 for them. Can't complain with the efficiency there. Now they need to be able to capitalize off of it. We did see a force back coming in from HellRaisers in the first half. Very unlikely to be the same kind of case on the CT side. You can't exactly get an AK in your hands, and you don't want to bank everything on a hero FAMAS. I don't think anyone's ever uttered those 2 words in the same sentence.
We've seen some pretty nice FAMAS antics yesterday.
We saw Knock. Yeah, Knock had a pretty good go of it, albeit I think it was versus Eco. I want to say, but it might actually just been first buy round. But nonetheless, yeah.
A lot of teams wanting to play Mirage though. I feel like this is the map we've just casted over and over and over again so far in the Invitational.
It's been a lot of it today. But for
especially
the Cologne
the best
one,
of ones.
Yeah, for the Cologne one, I think we had more diversity. We saw a fair bit of Nuke as well. Nuke, I guess that might be down to the fact that we had Liquid in the tournament. And obviously, HellRaisers is just refusing to play their best map pick.
Yeah, the fact that... well, nice kill from Zepar. He's going to go the P250. So obviously, he does this quite often, where he just wants to sort of have a pistol so he can get the AWP into his hands later on. Yeah.
It also gives forZe a bit of a freebie in terms of who are we sending in first into a potential stack. I mean, you kind of have your man mailed out for you
it's like,
already.
Well, it's your fault. You bought a P250. You're going in first.
You're about to die. Let's see if they clear the angle. Almazar had the idea initially. Didn't actually bother to clear it. Nearly pays for it with his life. Nikki, though, not able to finish it out. So a 10th round for forZe, back to double figures. Feeling pretty good about themselves, keeping players alive. And forZe, all right, going to be going up against the 3rd round buy of HellRaisers. Lowell with that silenced M4. I think it's he who has that by default. Because we saw Issa having it on overpass. I think that was dropped for him, and Issa was not quite accustomed to playing with that weapon. So you saw a bit of an awkward spray, and again, forZe finding frags through the smoke here.
Just predicting exactly what HellRaisers are going to throw at them, and a clean tap from Almirza. Oh, Jerry it was, actually. There we go. And Angel Law into 2v5.
Well, that's how you win a round.
Yeah, just completely force yourself onto the A bomb site. And I think that's a really good way of sort of smothering the momentum that HellRaisers were actually about to build up. You know, they come in from the first half, they're playing well, they manage to get themselves
back into it,
and then suddenly forZe have just stopped it from happening.
To be fair, I mean, forZe tried to do a similar thing versus Vindigo as well. We've seen Jerry pop out of apps. Just often no flash, often nothing, just the contact from pit and playing it that way. And it's been working pretty decently for them. can't really argue with the results. And even though HellRaisers are going to be able to hold on to 2 weapons, they will lose that first buy round. Oscar's going to pick up that up, and
surely Angel throws it to Oscar. There we go.
yeah. I mean, he's the game leader after all. He could just decide, like, well, it's my time, but I don't think that's going to go over well.
I'm not MSL.
Yeah. Not quite. And Oscar, to be fair, he has an ace in his pocket already from earlier today versus Nordovan in a similar round like this.
This one's actually better because they've also got a rifle and an MP9 in play.
Yep.
And Angel...
Maybe that's too much help.
Pretty much every time I see Angel with an SMG, well, any time I see an Angel clip, it's always with like an SMG.
Going a bit crazy with Cap, for sure. Let's see how that pans out, though. Wow, there's a bit of a lull in the action, though. If you want to, you guys at home can head over to csgo.net and use the code Chicago to get 30% more on your top-up. And also have a chance to win some cool skins.
Well, they've gone aggressive.
Yeah,
and Oscar definitely taking away Flit, so...
And so it begins.
This is the start.
We're going to see if they have the same reaction as Nordovan, though. They had the potential and possibility to move away from the site where they found Oscar with the op. They decided not to.
Yeah.
But forZe is thinking better of it. They're going to get 2 kills for their troubles as well, rotating all that way around. Nuki's still tucked in on the site. Oscar is rotating slowly, but seems like bomb is going to be planted, and it's
oh wow.
No, Nuki. Yeah, it's going to find Almazer. So that's a nice kill. It's going to be hard for him to pick up a weapon, though. FaceCrack and Jerry sorting that out. Oh, okay. I thought for the longest time we were just going to see a wall bang straight to the head from Oscar.
Yeah,
it felt like he knew it. Yeah,
he knew it was there, and then luckily forZe get the headshot. So no Oscar antics in this one.
It's also pretty significant. I mean, with the investment that they made on the side of HellRaisers, Angel's not going to be able to buy up for this one in a proper manner. It's going to be a lacking buy, I guess, in that sense, unless Lowell's able to hold on to this weapon. Same thing can be said for Issa. But as it stands right now, Lowell's going to be able to hold on to the weapon, so HellRaisers should be okay. See, Angel would have had to sacrifice a little bit of utility, and that's always going to be a bit of an issue on the CT side. Now, though, they're going to be just fine.
Well, forZe only 4 runs away from taking their map pick of Mirage. Up next will be Overpass, and we've already talked at great length as to why HellRaisers are the favourite on that one, but on this, forZe were given a bit of a scare towards the end of the first half, but they've recovered well, and they're definitely looking extremely solid on the T side, and it started to feel like they were getting a bit spread thin by Wendigo, but I feel like that was definitely just because of the lack of money that forZe had. They were always on sort of a weak buy.
Yeah.
And it was very difficult to sort of get into it.
That is very true. Ooh. Well then.
Another great opening kill from Z-Power. He's done that. Yeah, that's something, that is one of his best accolades, being able to just open up rounds. And he's done it again.
Yeah, you mentioned that. He's not necessarily going to be at the top of the scoreboard every game, but what he is going to do for you is find the frags that matter. Bomb goes down, completely uncontested. HellRaisers already looking like they, are looking to save. And in a weird change of pace here, Almazer somehow gotten in between the CTs. The CT's rotating up towards mid.
This is an Almazer sandwich.
If he actually, if he's just a little bit too patient, he might get sandwiched by Angel swinging in. But finding Nuki, that would actually send him forward. Oh, actually, is he expecting this? Probably surprised to see not more of a reaction out of the HellRaisers side.
Yeah, you think with a guy being so close, you get a little bit more paranoid about this. But they do start to move away. They're leaving Angel up inside the palace. I guess behind enemy lines is sometimes the safest place to be.
Hiding in plain sight.
Yeah.
13 rounds for forZe, though. They're getting that wiggle room that they need. Perfect second half so far. And I guess what was lacking for them in the Wendigo game on the T side, they've definitely made up for to this point. Winning pistol, obviously a big part of that. But yeah, without a fault to this point, HellRaisers holding on to 3 weapons means that they still can purchase up into this one.
Well, Z-Power heads his way towards top middle with the AWP. Angel showing a little bit of aggression towards ramp yet again. So something I'm actually not too used to seeing, I'm a little bit worried about, is that no one's actually used the gold B smoke that he's invented.
Actually, forZe did that in the first half.
Did they?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I didn't catch
I saw it. I think it was the round where FaceCrack ended up going all the way aggressive down to the bottom of pit once everything is faded.
Yeah.
Didn't get a frag off of it. Nobody was close enough initially, but yeah, no, they tried their luck. Angel taking some pot shots here and there and eventually dies without looking even the right direction. So I didn't even see a terrorist before he died. Bomb's going to go down as well. Oscar not in a position to deny it just yet. Throws out a Molotov. Smoke fades, so good call, Z-Power. Well, you should just finish this at this stage. All right. Yep. Okay, going for style points.
That's certainly a way to sort of mark your territory.
To put it this way, you definitely didn't need the money. That's for damn sure.
That's just asserting his dominance. You know, Oscar, you may be good, but I dominated you the last time. We'll do it again.
Yeah, just in a different way. Z-Power, as you can see, not again at the top of the board by any means. That's split with 28. Z-Power at 11, but again, finding the right frags at the right time, finding openings. That's been the name of the game for him. Now doubling the lead of HellRaisers, or doubling the numbers of HellRaisers as we go towards the B-bomb site quickly.
This could end up being more one-sided than the Wendigo game, which is kind of crazy to say, especially since...
Is it bad of me to expect Z-Power to hit those kind of shots by now? He's had so many absolutely insane flicks that whenever I see him given a chance, I kind of expect him to succeed, but... Oh, that's a solid trade from FaceCrack there. That could have been so punishing for forZe.
Yeah, especially if you get that AWP and walk away with it. So good job to trade immediately upon asking, and you might just get another one here as well. Player just on the other end of the van. I think FaceCrack is aware that there was a player there, and he's just biding his time very patiently, waiting for Angel to make the mistake, but he's fallen away back inside of the bomb site.
The awkward moment for forZe right here is that they're so split on both sides. Oscar's so far up in middle that he's going to catch any sort of rotation that goes, well, it doesn't matter where on the map. Oh. How is this constantly happening for them?
He spammed, looked away, and then went back again.
Yeah, and that's actually going to get Oscar out of position as well initially, so it might actually allow for the rotation to come in from A as well. Through B apps. Kitchen control has been gathered, 2v4. I don't really see a world where Oscar stands too much of a chance here. They don't have a defuse gate either.
Yeah,
he might try to hold on to your weapon, but I don't know if he feels too secure about where he can save. Yeah, you just call him paranoid.
Yeah, I was going to say, Flit was just creeping up. I don't think Oscar's going to be around for much longer, and he does drop, and it's a 30 bomb for Flit. He has hit 30 kills, 11 deaths. It's been a massive performance from him. And, you know, he's one of the players you don't really look to really talk about his individual level. He's one of the more supportive elements usually in the team, but obviously showing that he has the ability just to top the scoreboard whenever called upon as well.
It's actually completely reversed from what we saw in the first map for forZe. You had Z-Power and Jerry topping the scoreboard, FaceCrack in the middle, and then basically the two guys who didn't get to see much action in Almazer and Flit. They were kind of hanging out at the bottom. Now it's role reversal. Almazer and FaceCrack having great games.
I wonder if they just kind of like decide at the start of the game, it's like, you're going to have a good game today.
Yeah.
It's your turn.
You're up.
It's time to build your stats.
It's nice to give everyone a turn, right?
Exactly.
Angel sees if he can boost his stats a little bit with a kill onto Z-Power. It's not going to pan out, though. FAMAS not providing.
Oh, and the problem is Jerry has the info, so we might just wait for this. And there's the kill. Second coming in as well. And forZe, this is looking likely. They will walk away with Mirage in a very, very convincing fashion. I don't think HellRaisers even netted one round in the second half.
Well, I mean, unless they turn something into magic here. Nikki with the M4. Then, yeah, stellar second half from forZe. And we thought they were slipping up a little bit in the first half. It looked like they had a much, or should have had a much better half, but can't really argue with the results going into the T side. So just once again, forZe showing that they are a team to be reckoned with. They are impressive. And I don't think anyone can really count them as that big of underdogs anymore. I mean, they're just giving it to any team that they're up against.
Yeah, it seems like they're not even phased by like what sort of team they're going up against. They can go up against the best team in the world, still play their own game.
Got the same models, right, on the server. Can't really tell who it is. I guess unless it's simple and he drops 56 on you. But that's like the one exception. You can live with that.
Yeah, that's okay. Everyone's going to have that. I mean, as long as he doesn't get 60 kills, it's all good.
We're going to win if he doesn't get 60.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's forZe taking away Mirage 16-7. We're going to have to see if HellRaisers can turn it around. I'm expecting a win for them on Overpass, and I think Vendetta is as well. But join us after the break. We'll find out.